Okay, this is gonna be about a 6, 7 minute video. So be prepared to hang on if you're gonna watch it in its entirety. This is not a comedy video. This is a video about something that's really on my spirit right now. And I feel like I need to get it off my chest. So I'm just gonna share it. Had a disturbing situation happen to someone who is very close to my family over the weekend. And she's like one of my adopted daughters, one of my oldest daughter's best friends, and been knowing this little girl since she was probably about 6 years old, and very good friends with her family, her mom and her dad, and her daughter is actually my god granddaughter. So she was telling me about a situation that happened over the weekend. And this is going to lead into a bigger thing. So her and another young lady, they're both 24, 25, were riding on the highway in Atlanta, well, outside of it, Metro Atlanta. And they were accosted by a car with two young black males in it. When I say accosted, they were chased and forced to stop on the highway by this car driven by these two young men. Now the young men got out of the car, or rather one of the young men got out of the car in a very aggressive manner. Black guy, dreads, the whole nine. Got out in a very aggressive manner, yelling, cussing, screaming, and threatening to kill both of them. For what, they still don't know. He said something about he had been in an accident somewhere and he felt like they were somehow had something, I don't know, just crazy. And reached down as if he was gonna take a gun out and told them that he was gonna kill both of them right there on the spot. They didn't have no guns. They were just two young girls driving. She said she was very upset. She was terrified. She felt like she was gonna die right there on the highway. And there was nothing she could do about it. She was too terrified. She couldn't get a tag number. She couldn't get anything. All she could do was just silently pray that he didn't carry through on his threat. Now, apparently the other person in the car was, yelling at him to just get back in the car and let's go. They were holding up traffic and everything. And so I guess, God decided it wasn't their time to go. And he got back in the car and he left. Now, here's my bigger point. I'm really, and it hurts me as a black man to have to say this, but I'm sick and tired and I'm terrified for my family of young black men. Young black men, there's a crime problem in Atlanta. The problem with Buckhead, the problem with Lenox Square, the problem with carjackings, the problem with getting gas in gas stations in black areas, the problem with young black men. You are the problem. It's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to say. It's not the mayor, it's not the police department, it's young black men that are terrorizing the black community. I live where I live, far out, it's away from the city, and I have to drive 20 minutes to get to the highway to go anywhere. But I live where I live because I wanted to not be close to young black males. When I lived in my previous home, as the neighborhood started to become more populated with these young black males, I knew it was time to go. I don't want to live anywhere close to public transportation because that brings young black males. I don't want to live anywhere close to areas where I know there's a high concentration of low-income housing or Section 8, anything like that, because of the abundance of young black males. Because, let's face it, people, I don't fear Trump supporters. See, because the maggots, M-A-G-A-Ts, the maggots, as we call them, they don't attack black folks. At least not physically. They attack black folks from the halls of Congress. They attack black folks from the Senate. They attack black folks from the Supreme Court. They attack black folks with taking away our rights to vote. They attack black folks with taking away our access to health care. But they don't attack black folks physically because they're cowards. Now they attack the Capitol, but they don't attack black folks by and large. The people that accosted this young lady that I was speaking of and her friend on the highway, it wasn't a pickup truck with two white boys in it. It was two black boys. Two black guys that probably have sisters, that probably have girlfriends, they may have daughters themselves. I don't know. But I do know they had no hesitation in terrorizing these two young ladies that were doing nothing wrong. They weren't riding, smoking weed. They weren't drunk. They weren't coming from a club. We talking 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We not talking nighttime. We talking still daylight. They not no hood rats. They not no ghetto girls. We're talking college educated young ladies that felt like they were going to lose their life on an Atlanta highway at the hands of a black man that looks like their brother or their cousin or their uncle or their schoolmate that they went to school with. Sick of this shit, man. It's too much. And the problem is, I said it on a post on Facebook a while back. Well, I said it in a comment. I said the crime problem in Atlanta starts with bad parenting. It starts with bad parenting. I got two black sons. My sons have friends. I got nephews. I got all kind. Man, I know the difference when somebody is raised properly versus when somebody is raised like a goddamn pit bull and not a human. When I took my youngest son to college 2 weeks ago, and I looked in, and his two roommates had two black fathers in the room, in the apartment with us, that had raised their sons. That's why they are where they are, in college, with good grades, honor students, pursuing higher education. My oldest son, he's a business owner. And I'm not gonna lie, he had some bumps and bruises when he was young. He went through some things. Hell, I went through some things when I was young. But we made it through that because at his core, he had a good foundation. He had a foundation from his grandmother. He had a foundation from his grandparents, from his parents, from his aunts, from his aunt. He had a good foundation. So even though, because boys, do things. They go through things. But it was never to that level of these young animals that's out here now. I get the whole Black Lives Matter thing. We get on the radio and we talk about how we got to protect our young black men from the police. But who's going to protect us from our young black men? Fathers, you need to step up. You need to stay your ass at home if you can and raise your sons. Raise them to be decent citizens that don't prey on people in our community. Mothers, women, you need to stop just popping out babies for everybody any nigga that you meet. You pop out a baby for him, knowing he ain't gonna be around to help you raise him. And knowing that you can't raise them by yourself a lot of the time. You can say what you want. I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying. You can say what you want, but a boy needs a father. And it makes a difference. We got to do something about this. I don't know what we're gonna do about it, but we gotta do something about this. Because Atlanta is out of control. It's out of control. The ones that's terrorizing the streets with the dirt bikes and the ATVs every weekend, it's out of control. Riding up and down the highway and the Dodge Charger's going 150 miles an hour, potentially risking killing somebody, it's out of control. Going out to Lenox Mall, robbing and shooting folks, it's out of control. Carjacking people at gas stations, it's out of control. I'm not afraid of the white folks. I'm afraid of the people that look like me. Get yourself a concealed carry. Get yourself a weapon and be prepared to use it. I don't care if it's these water boys. I don't care if it's, can you spare some change? I don't care if it's, hey, I need some help for my, if anybody approaches your vehicle in an aggressive manner, be prepared to exercise your Second Amendment right and to stand your ground laws in Georgia. Be prepared, because this shit is out of control.